Hi, my name is Jack Cox. I'm in charge of CBRE's Industrial and Logistics Service Line.
Nick Cook, President of GLP here in Europe.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel van der Stichele, CEO of Mileway.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Nigel Rowe, Mountpark.
So my name is Robert Dobrzycki. I am CEO of Bannatyne.
Hi everyone, this is Ben Bannatyne. I'm the President for Prologis in Europe.
Andy Gulliford, I'm Chief Operating Officer at Stichele.
All joking aside, thanks Andy for putting together this cast.
In terms of ESG, I mean, increasingly important. As Andy pointed out, we are also a listed company, but in the US. We believe it's the right thing to do, but in addition to that, our investors and our customers are absolutely directing us in that direction as well. So, and there's a number of things. The simplest or most obvious, clearly, are upgrading the specifications of the building. LED lighting, solar, so that type of stuff, which is physical, that we can relatively quickly change our specifications for new buildings or retrofit. We actually have a big program where we are going to existing customers who still have a number of years left in their lease and going in and refitting, changing older lighting to LED, and we're financing part of that. So there's that type of stuff. I think one of the biggest pain points, though, that our customers are seeing is labour, and that's a really difficult challenge for us to solve. So there's a couple of things that we are doing. I mean, clearly, attracting labour to a location means making the most attractive working environment possible. So whether that's upgrading your offices within the warehouse, upgrading the natural daylight and just the environment within the warehouse itself for the warehouse workers, providing car parking, providing car sharing schemes. We have a project, Park Life, where we're actually taking our bigger parks and trying to integrate some leisure facilities. Anything that can help not just the employees, but the local communities. We've put a couple of sports facilities. We have some paddle courts in Spain. We have some volleyball and football courts in the Netherlands and Central Europe. And that's a relatively simple, cheap way to use greenfield land that we have to have anyway. But what we have seen as a result is within the park, our customers have started to use these facilities for, weekly sort of leagues and competitions. So what happens is all the employees start to mix from all the different companies, and they actually create a community that they don't want to leave. So it's been a really interesting dynamic for our customers to see how these relatively simple facilities have actually helped retention in terms of staff. And then in the US, we've launched a big program where we are trying to train together with colleges and local training companies, train the next wave of warehouse workers, and we're committing capital to an investment to making that happen, and we're now exporting that into Europe. We're starting in Birmingham. So I think there's lots we can do, and there's lots we are doing, but it's an increasingly important part of what we do. And as a long-term owner, there is no other option, and ultimately we think it also adds value right the way through the chain. So an area we're very much focused on.
I add to Ben's comment there. I think Prologis has been doing some great stuff for many years on that customer occupier side, but and it's not a but actually, it's an addition to that, is the clear focus that the occupier customer community have got in looking after what is important, which is their staff. Not only the factors they have to do in terms of assessing a site, a location, to attract labour in the first place. They've then got to keep them, not lose them to the next door occupier. Because a lot of the low skilled element of these jobs are easily transferable. We've seen the problems that Amazon, I think, historically have had. I'm sure they've been sorting those out, but then losing their staff is a major problem. Therefore, that environmental position they offer to their staff is absolutely crucial for them. And I think that any of us that are pitching to our potential customers are having to address this very, very keenly. And so I think it becomes, of the ESG, it's the S in particular. Yes, we're all putting solar. Yes, we're all putting all of the environmental issues that the box ticking corporates need to see as well, and that's all important. But it's actually the operational, long-term operational and environment of their staff. So we've had a conversation about how offices is declining, and I'm not going to comment on whether it is or not, but if we were to agree that or suggest that it may be, and that our sector is going past it, well, what are the new offices? Where are they? If they're not at home, then they're going to be involved in the logistics and warehouse buildings that we're offering, and therefore we need to provide all those leisure, social, other amenities, retail, running tracks, as Ben referred to, etc. And they become crucially important, not just an add-on. And it becomes those small things, I think, in the offer of the logistics sector that is absolutely central to what makes us successful, I think.
In the UK, we've just got a sort of first certified net zero carbon for construction building on a 300,000 square foot spec build we've done in Milton Keynes, and that is a carbon net zero through the construction phase, so focusing on mitigating the impact that the type of materials have on the overall life cycle of the building. And I think I'll quote approximate statistics because I'm not supremely technical in this field, but I believe that the construction phase typically accounts for about 30% of the overall carbon of a building's life cycle. So it makes sense to do what you can to try and mitigate it through that construction phase, and through relatively simple changes, like altering the type of cement that you use in your floor slabs, you can make a phenomenal difference. And that's one thing that we challenged our supply chain to do. We rounded up all of our partnering contractors and challenged them to find opportunities to mitigate the impact through the construction phase. And we had a whole host of suggestions. We've put all those together on this particular spec build in Milton Keynes, and that has resulted in this, what I believe is a world first of sort of net carbon zero in the construction phase, as rated by the UK Green Building Council. So some interesting developments there, and I think that the construction industry are a willing participant in helping that agenda.
And first of all, I would say, look, we're of course seeing a lot of change in terms of also from a technological point of view, enabling us to make adjustments, and these adjustments will take some time. But I think as leaders in our industry, we really have to take our responsibility. And if you sort of look at urban logistics, I think you'll see a number of things happening. Already today, you see European cities that are planning to ban outright the use of diesel vehicles in their cities. I think we're seeing that, that's going to happen in Paris by 2025. I think Madrid is following, and there'll be plenty of other cities who will follow that example. So in effect, that will also create a barrier for distribution of goods directly from regional or national warehouses into the city centers. So I think urban logistics and urban consolidation centers, from that point of view, will play a more important role going forward. And from there, retailers will shift distribution through e-vehicles and e-bikes, and which of course have a limited range, but again, that will emphasize the importance of being close to local communities. And I think for us as a business, we're very much aware that some of the properties that we have bought in the past were probably undermanaged. So we think that as a business we can do a much better job in better managing these properties. We have the capital resources, but we're also building up the technical know-how internally to implement sustainability measures and invest real capital in our property. So I think also there we can really have a make a very positive contribution. And then the last thing I would say, for us as a business, we're very much aware that we're as an urban warehouse business, part of the local economic fabric of the communities in which we operate, and also there we want to take our responsibility and will be developing several initiatives in the future.